Hey everybody, this is Bernie from Heavenly Scent Trail, and you're listening to the Scent Trail Podcast, the show that explores the art of scent and perfumes for people who love fragrances. And with me today is the legendary fragrance connoisseur, Chris, also known as Fragrance Overload. How you doing, Chris?
Man, Bernie, we are excited to be back in the lab and bringing out more of this incredible podcast. I'm excited.
Yes, and do we have a show for you today?
Yes.
On today's podcast, we are diving into a topic that sounds like a science fiction movie, but it is quickly becoming a reality. AI created perfumes. Now, Chris, artificial intelligence is changing industries everywhere, from healthcare to finance, and now it's making waves in perfumery.
Wow.
But what does that mean for master perfumers, niche fragrance houses, and even us as consumers? Are we looking at a future where algorithms craft our signature scents? And if so, is that a good thing? Today, we'll explore the pros and the cons of AI in perfumery and how it works and whether a machine, Chris, can truly capture artistry of scent. So, The question for you, Chris, is, are you ready to go on the scent trail?
Bernie, I'm ready, so let's go.
All right, so on this first segment, how does AI, first of all, create perfumes? Let's break it down. And so unlike traditional perfumery, where a nose, they blend the ingredients based upon experience and intuition, AI, Chris, uses massive database or data, of fragrance formulas, consumer preferences, and chemical compounds to generate, new combinations. And so right now, there are companies out there such as Symrise, Firmenich, and IBM who have already been experimenting with, these AIs to design, AI perfumes. Because it almost sounds like a science fiction movie.
No, it really does.
And so some of these systems can even simulate how a fragrance will smell before it's physically made. That to me is just incredible. And so I like to, talk about the pros of AI perfumery, and I'm going to give you, 4 points. The first one that I can think of is, speed and efficiency. And so when I think of AI and, ChatGPT, showed up
Instantly
to the scene, and that changed the world. It really has. It has really changed the way we do things. And so AI can generate hundreds of fragrance combinations in seconds and minutes. So speeding the creative process, for perfumers who are trying to come up with a formula. And then you have, data-driven personalization. That's my point number 2. So imagine, Chris, an AI scanning your social media, checking out your music taste and Spotify, and even, just your mood, to craft the scent for you. And, they would create it for you. And that to me is like, well, that's pretty cool. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, of course.
But also there's also another third point, and that is cost reduction. And so developing a new perfume, as you know, Chris, traditionally takes years and sometimes millions of dollars to come up with these beautiful scents. And so, AI could cut, research and development and cost significantly. So that would be appealing, for any company out there. So what do you think about that?
Man, Bern, while you were talking, I think some of the things that you brought up about just the pros, we talk about efficiency. We talk about also not just efficiency, but how quick you'll be able to get the work done.
Yes.
I always feel like, wow, like that's amazing. But I wonder if, that's not already taking place, right? In some instances of things we've spoken about already, about quick turnarounds and mass production. But what I also find intriguing is the fact that, they can go ahead and take your mood, see the things in which you've liked, the things that are interesting to you, and craft a fragrance that would go along with that. I think that right there is extremely innovative.
Yeah, it's appealing. It's just an appeal
absolutely.
about
And one of the things that's crazy to me is I always so think of that first fragrance house to go say, hey, we have that AI generated perfume,
Yeah.
how quick I think some people will flock to it simply because it's new, because they want to know what is it really about.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
this really give great, type of fragrances that we really would love and appreciate,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a lot to think about.
It is a lot to think about. And I did find out that there is a house that's, already has like we're going to talk about it.
Mhm.
We're getting a little bit ahead, but we're going to
Wow.
get there. We're going to get there soon, because when I saw this today, I was like, what?
Wow.
There's already fragrances that have been created by AI. We'll get there. And so, and then the fourth point, to, the pros of AI in perfumery is sustainability.
Yeah.
So some AI systems optimize formulas for use, fewer rare or environmentally, harmful ingredients. So they can go through things a lot quicker, to let perfumers know, what's good, what's bad. And so I think in that light, I think it would be it's a pro. For me, it's definitely a pro. And so, but is faster and cheaper always better when it comes to art? That's the question.
Yeah.
And let me just say that. Let me just tell the
Yeah.
audience that question
Yeah.
again. But is faster and cheaper always better when it comes to art? That's a question to answer.
It's not. I'll let you know, because on my fragrance journey, I've come to realize that certain scents at the beginning of my fragrance journey that was not very appealing to me, that were a little bit too artsy in a way, was not what I wanted. But now, this far along in my fragrance journey, I've realized that those scents are so intriguing to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like faster and quicker and cheaper would make it that we wouldn't be able to have that artistry that we have in some of the niche fragrances that are out, right? You wouldn't really be able to tell a story.
Yeah.
You really wouldn't be able to do these type of things or get that fragrance that evokes a certain emotion out of you. And so for me, that's where I would disagree. Like, no, it's not better because of where I am and what I anticipate from fragrances.
Yeah.
If you just want to smell good, it probably is.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody like us
Explore,
who love to explore fragrances, take deep dives, understand the story behind them, then I don't feel like that's something that would be suitable for us.
Yeah.
We won't appreciate that as much.
Yeah, that's really good point, Chris. And so now we're going to talk about the cons and controversies of AI and perfumery. So, the downsides, because not everyone is thrilled, Chris, and like you just mentioned, about AI entering this, centuries old space. And so, the first point into the con is, the lack of human touch. Perfumery, like we said, is an art. And so can an algorithm really replicate the emotion and storytelling behind, these iconic scents, which you just already answered? The answer is no way, no way. You can never replace a human nose. And then, my point number two is, risk of homogenization. If AI relies too much on, trendy data, and it's, will perfumes start smelling the same? Because, they're going to be pumping out, similar scents. And so that's another thing that I think is something very interesting. Third point, very important point too, is, job displacement. Could AI replace perfumers? That's a question. And if you're a company, if you're a company that, and you own, you have a lot of employees, and you have, and you want to cut, research and development, that's very tempting, very appealing.
Yeah.
I think there would be jobs on the line. What do you think about that, Chris?
What it is back to your second point that you had made about can AI really replace the human nose? And we know that the answer is no, but also what's so important is the fact that I wonder if our fragrances aren't already getting to the point where they're just constantly being repeated already.
Yeah.
Particularly once a DNA is successful, it's replicated a whole lot of times.
Yeah.
So I wonder if, since becoming very similar is not something that's already creeped in to the fragrance space, and to the point where, because fragrance is a business.
Yeah.
You have to be willing as a business person. You have to, put on the market what sells. And once a DNA sells, people will constantly replicate it.
Yeah.
We can talk about a whole slew of different fragrances that has already happened to. So I wonder now, well, isn't that kind of already happening? That's the first point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the second point is the cost of, what it takes to create fragrances with perfumers and perfumers losing their jobs. I think for me personally, someone who loves fragrances, and to the houses that love creating true art, I don't think that's even something that's going to bother them.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to stay true to what works for them, what gave them the reputation, so that they can go ahead and maintain heads and shoulders in luxury compared to what the other houses who might be using AI is going to be able to produce.
And then you think about the ethical concerns.
Mm.
Who owns AI generated formula? I mean, that's a good
Mm.
question. Or is it the programmer? Is it the
Yeah.
company? Or is
Yeah.
it the AI itself?
Wow, that's true.
And so I think, some perfumers argue that AI can never, replace the intuition, creativity of a human nose. Others believe it's just another tool like a paintbrush, for an artist. So just very interesting topic. And, there's a lot of information on this, Chris. And I'm just going to go into, my last segment on this.
Mhm.
This segment is real world examples and the future because we're talking about it,
Yeah.
and so I wanted to find out who's using this
AI,
technology, and so AI is actually being used in perfumery right now, and there was a company called Philyra by Symrise, and an AI that created 2 perfumes for a Brazilian brand called Boticário, and that's Brazil's largest and most loved, beauty brand.
Wow.
So they created like 2 fragrances, and I think they're already creating some more.
Wow.
And then you have IBM's Symrise collaboration used AI to create a design of, and this was interesting to me because I was like, well, that's just, I mean, it's very interesting in that they used AI to design a cognitive perfume.
Wow.
Which is like, really? I mean, that to me was very interesting. And then startups like, Sentient AI, they focus on predicting fragrance trends using machine learning. So AI is being used at a rapid, pace, and understandably so because, it makes sense. It makes sense as we move into the future, people want to be efficient. And I think efficiency, has a lot to do with it. But many experts believe that AI will be a collaborator, helping perfumers explore new combinations faster while leaving the final artistic decisions to humans. And I think that's the most responsible thing, but it never stays there.
Absolutely, man. And while you said that, no disrespect to any perfumer out there. We love them.
Yeah.
They create amazing things. But what typically happens to humans in general is when a tool is used, or supposed to be used to be helpful, sometimes it becomes abused, right? And one of the things that immediately crossed my mind was, well, what about the perfumers who's just going to say, well, you know what? I have this tool. I might as well just let it do the whole work for me anyways. And then I'm just going to go ahead and collect this bag, collect the money and I'm out, get my check and I'm gone.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, like that to me is like a danger I can see for in the future. And also think about it. If we are having AI generated fragrances based on trends and so on, when you go to Chat GPT, for example, you pull out your phone, you put, Chat GPT, you ask it a question, it's going to spit out an answer for you.
Yeah.
If you ask it the same question, it's going to spit out the same answer for you.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's made to respond based on what you ask.
Yes.
And so back to the similarities in the fragrances or, the same notes. Now, this brand comes out with this fragrance. And then guess what? This brand was already working on coming out with another fragrance. And here they are, the same fragrances on the market, which we kind of already see, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's true. And that's what we have to answer. But I think, again, there's ethical concerns. There's just so many questions to be answered. And so this is a topic that we're going to continue to talk about because there's just so much to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, and the last thing I was going to mention was that this week, and this is, going in the AI direction, But now we're talking about an AI influencer
Oh
that
gosh.
came to the scene on Instagram,
Yeah.
and then it kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
It got backlash from from Fracom,
Yep.
and they took it down. And I
Yeah.
know that you heard the story, and I
Absolutely.
was like, wow. I mean, and I was reading the comments on this, and I was like, oh my gosh. So the company that was trying to create this, they wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
It was like a marketing ploy for them,
Of
but
course.
man, it
And
backfired.
you know what? I am proud of Fragcom for
Yes.
standing up and going out, commenting, and putting a stop to that.
Yeah.
Because, it's the hard work that content creators put forth into their craft, spending their hard-earned money into going ahead and purchasing these fragrances, doing reviews, whether it's photography, whether it's a reel, whether it's doing all these different things that you do by going to events and so on. And then for out of nowhere, out of the blue, for a AI generated fragrance influencer to just come out, like, come on,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
come on.
It's so true. It's so true. But yeah, so much garment to cut here, man. So what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna continue to talk about this because this is a subject that is pretty never ending.
Yes.
Very interesting. And so if you're interested, in AI and perfumery, stick to the Central Podcast because you are going to learn a
Yeah.
lot.
And also, just go ahead and let us know down in the comments below. What are your thoughts on that, man? That whole AI and perfume thing. I'm very intrigued to see how other people think about this.
Yeah.
Because somebody may have something, maybe working, for a brand or for a company who's already working on that or whatnot. And I just want to know their thoughts, man. That whole AI and perfumery thing.
Yeah.
Are we losing, the craft, the artistry of perfumery if that happens?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And so that brings us to your favorite part of our segment.
Yes.
And that is today's Central Spotlight. And so today, Chris, we have something
Yes.
very special for our audience.
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to tell them a little bit about what we have here in front of us.
Yes, we have some very big and very important news. As you may remember, if you watched our last episode, if you didn't, hit pause, go watch it, come back to this very spot. We just recently partnered up with Black Aroma Distributions. And this is such a great partnership for us to be
Yes.
able to bring continuous great content to you guys. But what's incredible is they are also the only distributor of Le Persona perfumes,
Yes.
which is our Central Spotlight brand and fragrances of the day. Last week, we spoke about LPO1 and LPO2. Today, we're going to be talking about LPO3 and LPO4, which
Yes.
are fantastic fragrances and things that are going to, that changes, kind of like where fragrances are now. And we really, really like them. And there's another news, Bernie. I'm going to let you give this one. How can the people get their nose on this, man?
How can they get their nose on this? Well, very easy, very easy. So there is a giveaway that we're going to be doing.
Okay.
And we're going to be giving away 4 bottles of La Persona.
Yes.
Not only that, but we're also giving away 10 discovery sets. And what do I have to do to, get into or be part of this giveaway? Well, very simple.
Yes.
On Instagram, all you have to do is make sure that you follow La Persona US.
Yes.
Follow the Central Podcast. And was there another one?
Make sure you hit that subscribe button
Yes.
on our YouTube page.
Yes.
If you don't do that, then I'm sorry, you won't be able to win. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments for this episode, out of 3 and 4, which one you would be most interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very easy, very easy. All you have to do is those 3 things. And listen, you get entered into this great giveaway, exciting giveaway, because this house is making some noise. So if you want to be part of this, go ahead and, make sure that you become part of this exciting giveaway.
Absolutely. So are you ready for us to jump into this? I'm itching to smell them.
Brother, I am so ready, so ready. So let's go ahead and check them out. I'll go
Yes.
ahead and check out LP04.
And I'll do LP03.
And I already know that this fragrance right here is just incredible. I've heard so many good things about LPO4, Chris.
Yes.
And so, man, I love the packaging. I love, it's this quiet luxury quiet luxury to its finest. And so let's see. All right, so I got a little test strip here, and I am going to spray it. Let's see. We'll do 3 sprays. 1, 2, and 3. And let's take it for a spin. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Chris.
Remarkable.
Chris,
I smell it from here, man.
This brings me joy, man. This is one of those fragrances and scents that just brings me so much joy. Oh, man. This is just, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, so beautiful. So beautiful.
Now, let me tell them a little bit about LPO3.
All right.
Now, LPO3 opens up with this beautiful tea note, right? Very nice, very soft, very approachable. Sometimes tea can be one of those notes that people don't really like or don't really flow with. It sometimes could be a little too earthy, but not this. This is extremely approachable. Even slightly, a little bit sweet. There's also some fig in here as well that just adds some great character to this fragrance. And what I really, really, really like, Bernie, you know I'm a sucker for musk and sandalwood.
Oh, yeah.
So there's this creamy, soft type of, sandalwood and musk combination that really rounds this fragrance out. There's also some cashmere wood on there. So this is a type of fragrance that it gives you that wood, those woods, it gives you that tea, and it really makes you smell incredible. And what I want to do is I want to just read this little part for you right here. It says, the world recognizes your worth and guides you on the path to success when your self-confidence, born from your limitless potential and magic of this mask, when you wear this fragrance, the self-confidence that you will have when you put this on, Bernie, is something to behold.
Yeah. I can smell it. I can smell it to here, man. That is just beautiful, beautiful. Chris, and I'm excited about LPO4, man. I mean, this is called, LPO4 Golden Gem.
Yes.
And you put your nose to this, and that's exactly what it is. It's a golden gem. And it starts off with top notes of bergamot. You got cardamom oil, and then you have rose. But the rose in here is just, man, it is just luxury. It's just luxurious rose. And then at the heart, you have, the wood start, creeping in, but then it has adds a little bit of vanilla. This vanilla comes in.
Yes.
And it even has a note of fire. I've never even heard of a note of fire. But yeah, man, this fragrance right here is fire. At the base, you have guaiac wood, vetiver, and then you have patchouli. And let me just read you this. This is what it says. It says, it's a golden mask shining brilliantly alone in the dark. The dignity of nobility wraps around you as you walk with this mask among the crowds. When countless gases mixed with jealousy and envy lingers on you, you become the center of the world. Man, this right here, Chris, this right here. I mean, I love all these fragrances, but man, LPO4 is top, man. This is top.
It truly is. And this is one that I've been thoroughly enjoying. I have a little, 10 ml that I've been just loving up for that one, man. It's truly fantastic. And this is actually a fragrance that you put on that, as it says, the center of attention.
Yeah.
People will not walk by and ignore you when you put that on.
Yes. So true. What a house, man. We're just so happy, so excited, to be part of La Persona and Black Aroma Distributor, man, as the official central sponsor. And, and you guys can have access to these.
Absolutely.
So make sure, if you want to be part of this giveaway, come on. These are awesome.
Yeah. And you know exactly what to do, guys. If you want to get your nose, if you think we're even making this up about how amazing these are, just enter and find out.
Yes.
Check it for yourself. I promise you, your nose in your pocket will thank you. Ain't nothing better than getting free fragrances.
Absolutely.
So go ahead and hit that follow button on both the Central podcast and Le Persona US on IG, and come over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and let us know down in the comments which one out of these two, LPO3 or LPO4, would you think works best for you? Are you going with the wooden mask or are you going with the gold mask? Which one do you choosing?
Great question, Chris. All right, so moving along, because time is of the essence. I'd like to do a recap. So today we have learned that AI is moving ahead in the development and creation of fragrances.
Yes.
And so the question remains, Chris, where do we stand? AI and perfumery is exciting, controversial, and it's still evolving. It could democratize, scent creation, making, personalized perfumes more accessible. But it also raises questions about creativity, authenticity, and the soul of fragrance.
Yeah.
Now, like Chris said, I love to hear from you, our listeners. Would you wear a perfume designed by AI? Or do you believe scent creation should remain a human art? Now, all you have to do is DM us on Instagram at the Central Podcast here and YouTube, or just leave a comment. We'll feature your response in our next episode.
Yes.
So, yeah, and that's all you have to do. So make sure, to continue, tuning in, keep watching, and and you know that the Central Podcast is your second home.
Yes.
And so if you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of fragrance, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and and until next time, here with Chris, also known as Fragrance Overload.
Yes.
Your guy, and also me, Heavenly Central, always here for you to give you the latest and greatest.
Yes.
So until next time, peace. Ambassador for a very famous house, and it is a house that a lot of fragrance